morning. So, welcome, Emma, to the Art of Healing little chats that I'm doing with people. I wanted to help people to be able to understand first of all, meet interesting new women but also to help them to understand their feelings. Because for me, became very unwell through not listening to my feelings and not expressing what I needed to express. And so I wanted to interview a group of people just to see at some stage how they are feeling. So in this moment, how are you feeling today?
I'm all right, thank you. Yeah, it's half term now, so I don't need to be running around children, dropping them off, picking them up. So that's all good.
Excellent,
That's a
excellent.
benefit.
Good. So, Emma, would you like to explain to everybody who you are, what you do, where's that been inspired from, how you created your work? What is it that you do?
I will do. Yeah. So thank you so much for having me to start off with, Amanda. It's
Welcome.
lovely to be here sharing this. So yes, I am the founder of Soul Revival, which is body confidence and mindset coaching.
Right.
And I'll tell you how I arrived at my job that I'm doing now, or my career as such. So I'm a mum of I've got varying age of children. My eldest is 17, my youngest is 8. And whilst they were younger, I used to do lots of just little bits of pin money. And then when my youngest was about 2 years old, I thought I really wanted to go back to work. So
Okay.
what would I do?
Yeah.
And I've always had an interest in healthy living, in movement, and how the body works. So I trained as a personal trainer because I thought actually I'll turn a passion into a career, and it worked really well around the family because I was self-employed. And I would predominantly work with mums because I guess I could relate to them, I could empathize with them. I was the why really looking at me, and so that's how I started. We were in Surrey then at the time. We lived in Surrey, near in a village called Ash, which is near Farnham, Aldershot, round there. And I moved to Wiltshire about 3.5 years ago,
Oh, right.
and started. Yeah, so it's a complete change of, as you said earlier, live in Ascot. It's a complete change, lifestyle change.
Yeah.
But we wanted a bigger house in the garden.
Yeah.
I've got 5 children, so I have their
Oh,
own rooms, and that's
5.
yeah. So yeah, I've got 5. So 4 boys and a girl. And so that was our motivator really. I wanted them all to have a bit more space. I wanted them to have their own bedroom. I wanted a bigger garden. And we moved here. And I did a little bit of PE coaching, but I actually then, when I was doing I was still personal training and working in a school as a PE coach. I was talking to somebody whilst I was personal training them, or exercising with them, and of course, actually, when somebody wants a personal trainer, they might be looking to maybe run a marathon, or they've got a goal in mind, but often they would come to me because they wanted to lose weight.
Mm.
And there's a lot more going on in the body if you want to lose weight, other than creating a calorie deficit. That does not work. It's not a one size fits all for everybody, and there's so much more going on up here
Mm.
rather than what's going on in the. And so I found myself sort of talking to these people quite a lot and listening, and I thought I actually feel more like a coach. And so then I moved my business into the coaching side instead. So I don't do any personal training anymore now. I purely coach people. So that's where the body confidence comes in, because I use my expertise of nutrition and movement and exercise. So that might come into my coaching. But also, I talk about the mindset. I talk about confidence. I talk about, you just reconnecting with ourselves, trying to release all those self-doubts and self-sabotage. But I predominantly work with mums, because I have a real passion for mums not losing their identity when they become a parent, which is sometimes, quite often is the case. People, they have their children, they want to go back to work, they haven't got the confidence. What do I do? My body's changed. They haven't really got any boundaries. So that's how I came to what I do now. And so I support women. Support women really to be at the top of their priority list, not the bottom, which so often
That's a
they
tough
are,
job
because they
then.
haven't got any boundaries. It is. It is a tough job. But, if we can get that balance right, and we have got good boundaries and feel really good about ourselves, and energetically we're in a good vibration, it's really good role modeling for our children. It's such good role modeling for our children. Yeah. So much of the time I will talk to people, and actually they work the way that, well, they run their life the way they do because of their role modeling and their beliefs and their conditionings from when they were brought up with their parents. And actually sometimes we just need to think, actually, is that how I want to be living my life? Just because that's what worked for my parents doesn't mean to say it's going to work for me, does it?
Absolutely. Or for your children.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, and I also, I do work. I also work for a charity as well. So I actually do a bit of a hybrid. So I have a self-employed role, but I work for a charity supporting people with either diagnosed or undiagnosed mental health conditions. So supporting them to get back to, it's an inclusion coach, to get them back into society, really. So the two marry really well together.
Yeah.
So
And so
yeah.
I'm fascinated with when anybody has as many as 5 children. Did you know beforehand that you were going to have 5 children, or did it just kind of follow on with, was that the aim? Did you know?
No, so I always wanted 4, and my husband did want 3, and then we had the 4, and then we had a very lovely surprise. So yeah, we've got, then we had Zachary. So my 4th started school the day that my 5th came along. So but yeah, it's lovely. There's a slightly bigger gap between. So my 1st and my 4th is actually 4.5 years between the 4 of them. So it was like a whirlwind.
Wow, you were either
Yeah.
pregnant or breastfeeding throughout those times then, presumably. That's a long time.
Yeah,
How
it
did you
was. Yeah, but then
feel
my 4th
during
and my
how did you feel during that
well,
process? Did you lose all sense of self in that?
I'll probably say, so all my, I have been very, very fortunate. Like, my body has looked after me well, in the fact that, and I probably wouldn't have had so many children had I not had pregnancies not be so easy. And my birth stories are all good birth stories. So I think, it wouldn't have been the same if I'd had some horrific stories. Three out of 5 were born at home. But did I lose myself? Yes, probably, because although I didn't breastfeed all of mine, so I had the support. My husband is a brilliant dad and very good, very hands-on, and would help it get up at night and things. But it was a whirlwind of being needed by somebody else. So I would say, if somebody said to me, what do you enjoy, what do you like doing, I probably wouldn't really know, because I couldn't really see much beyond the children. And I know that's quite an extreme. Not many people have got, I mean, I do know some other people with large families, but not many people have got 5 children and also so close together.
Yeah.
But it's all relative, isn't it? It's all relative. people say to me, God, I don't know how you get on with how you manage with 5. I can't manage with 2, but that's because that's their norm. That's what they're used to, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it is all relative.
Yeah.
Um,
But
so
does it mean that you
yeah,
have to kind of take 2 cars if you want to go out on as a family and things like that?
no, no, because we've got, well, I mean, life is moving on now. To be fair, my eldest is 17 and learning to drive. The next one's almost 16. The next one's 14. So life has changed somewhat in that we don't actually often all go out together anyway anymore.
Right.
But no, we've got an 8-seater car. So yeah, we could
Oh,
all go out. We could all go out together. Yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, life is, yeah, those kind of days are, other than going on holiday or maybe going to visit family, we never all go out together anymore.
yeah, yeah. And
It's evolves, doesn't it?
how do you find the time for some downtime for you? I presume exercise is still very much your passion then.
Yeah, so for me, for me, it is, exercise is important to me. I do feel really good having exercise, and I think for for women that perhaps are starting an exercise journey, I would say the most important thing is to find something that you enjoy.
Yeah.
Because if you think, oh well, everyone else is running, I'm going to run, but you hate it, you're never going to do it.
No.
So and also it's important to remember, I was having this conversation with my daughter actually the other day, is that exercise is good for your mental health, it's good for the endorphins, but it also can put undue stress on the body if
Right.
it's something you're finding very hard to do, don't want to do. Or so actually, if you're not in a great place mentally anyway, or you're tired or you're overwhelmed and you're putting that unnecessary stress on your body, it's not going to leave you in a good way. So for me, yes, I do like to do something. I always do a variation of, I will generally run twice a week. I'll do Pilates, I'll do yoga, so I'll do some sort of holistic exercise, and then I also do like a HIIT class or something like that. But I think it's really important for anybody that's listening that you, as I say, you do something that you enjoy,
Yeah.
and something that's good for your body. Everybody's body responds differently
Yeah.
to different exercise. And also thinking about age as well. So I'm 45, probably perimenopausal. Really important for me to be doing exercises that are building my bone density and keeping muscle mass, because as you enter those years of our life, we lose muscle mass. I mean, we lose the muscle mass when we get over 35 anyway. But when we enter the perimenopause, we lose muscle mass at a quicker rate. And
Right.
obviously we're more aren't we, to osteoporosis. And so for a woman of my age, it's really important to be trying to do some resistance training. So either weights or body weight exercises are really good. So yeah, I think it's
So
it's
using your
really
body
important to
weight
understand.
to do a move or whatever is as good as lifting a weight in another way because it's still lifting a weight of a description. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly that. So if you're doing squats or lunges or
Okay.
you've got you're going against gravity when you squat down or lunge down. You've got to get back up again, and you've got your body weight to do that. So yeah, exactly. A plank, you're using your body weight. And then equally, you can use things like resistance bands are great, because you're pulling on the resistance bands, just provide that extra bit of resistance. They're so easy. They're really, really cheap and so easy to transport.
Yeah.
Or you don't need you don't need a storage. So, you could, if you were going on holiday and you wanted to try and do some exercise, you could stick them in your suitcase.
Right.
They're really easily accessible. So yeah, so yeah. And to answer your question, exercise is still a big part of my life. Yeah, because I do enjoy it. So, and it's I will often exercise in the morning, and your morning routine determines your evening routine. Actually, you know that even though you're up for 14, 16 hours a day, what you do in the morning has a big impact on your bedtime routine. So I tend to start sort of my day with some sort of movement. I think
So
that, yeah,
what,
for me.
sorry,
But
can you repeat that? Because that sounded interesting and I'd never heard that before. So what you do during the day has a bigger impact than what you do in your at nighttime. Is that what you were saying?
so your so your morning routine has a big impact on your sleep at the end of the day. So
Oh,
so
right.
when
That's what you mean.
when we yeah, so when we talk about sleep hygiene, at night time, perhaps you turn your phone off an hour before you go to bed. You maybe have a bath, you have a hot drink, you've got your lights down low. But actually, what you've done throughout the day will make a big difference to how you sleep in the evening. So in the morning, for instance, if you've started your day getting up at a reasonable, getting up at the sort of same time every day rather than sleeping in at the weekend. Um, the movement, getting outside in the fresh air makes a big difference to the brain as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, all of it, yeah, it's all part of sleep hygiene, not just the evening.
Yeah. Yeah. I find for me, I'm not a runner at all, but I like going for a walk. And so, but even in doing regular, daily walking, you're still exercising. You're not necessarily cardiovascularly pushing yourself, but I found that I can still get toned in my muscles just from doing a fast-paced walk. So it's one thing I've always kind of said to my clients is if you can't, if you can't, not everybody can run. So, start where you can start, and a walk is just as good a place to start as anything, isn't it?
Absolutely. Walking is so underrated. It's so good for you. And no action is worse than taking imperfect action, isn't it?
Exactly.
And saying walking isn't perfect at all, because actually it's a really good form of exercise for you. But if you're waiting till you're getting to a stage where I want to run, so you rather not take any action than take, if that to you is imperfect action, well, you're not getting anywhere anyway, are you? So you may as
Mm.
well do something. So
Yeah.
it is. I
Anything is
did
better than nothing, isn't it?
exactly. I did a little test actually years ago, and this was to do with calorie burn with walking, and actually walking for 45 minutes and running for half an hour. There was the same calorie burn for me.
Really?
That,
Wow.
that just shows that there's and you're saying it's not doing anything to your cardiovascular system. Well, actually it is, because it's an aerobic form of exercise. So it's certainly not damaging your cardiovascular system. It's got
Yeah.
to be doing good. So especially if you get up a little bit of it, you get up a pace as well. So
Yeah.
it's plus the fact you're getting out in the fresh air. Again, it's supporting walking is building the muscle. It's helping the bones as well. It's really good form of exercise. So
Yeah. Yeah.
um
I think everybody, I think a lot of people, not everybody, a lot of people think, if I'm not sweating it out at a gym or doing a really intense class, then I'm not doing enough or not good enough or some way. But I kind of think, well, anything is enough, isn't it? If you're just getting out and doing something, you're on your path to whatever it is that you want to achieve. If you just go out for a walk, it's something, isn't it, to that.
exactly. And also about duration as well. If the thought of doing something for an hour fills you with dread, do 15 minutes a day, something
Yeah.
like that. That again, that's just as good for you as exercising for 2 hours a week. But actually you're dreading it, or you procrastinate about doing it, because actually procrastination is it comes from a source. We don't want to, we put off doing something because there's a fear behind it, isn't there?
Mm.
So do right for you, I think, is the important message, is to do what's right for you and not what's right for somebody else
Yeah.
because you think it's right.
And
So
so,
yeah.
now, do you find that you're doing a lot of your coaching online? Are you doing in person? Or a mix?
It is a mix, but I do more online. Yeah. yeah, I do more online. So I kind of, yeah, I am national. I have people, yeah, had somebody in Surrey. Actually, I knew her from when I um used to live in Surrey. I've had people closer to London. So yeah, I mean, I will do face to faces. If people are around here, I will do face to faces because it's quite nice to meet people face to face. But we were definitely entering into, before the pandemic, we were entering into doing stuff online, weren't we? And now that's the pandemic definitely accelerated that.
Absolutely.
You know, for me, it's more about being aligned with that person, you know, so actually, if, you know, if I'm the right fit for them, and I can support them, um then yeah, we'll go online. In my sessions, I do like, towards the end, like to sort of get out, so meet up and get out in nature, and perhaps, you know, just reflect on the program that we've done together, the sessions that we've done together, and perhaps take some journaling questions with us. So I like to, if people want to do that, it's an offering that I do
Oh,
towards the
great.
end of my program.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds good. I think connecting in nature is a great idea, isn't it?
Yeah, I think, yeah, you know, I think people often think that they need to be busy all the time, and it's really important to just be, isn't it?
Mm.
Um, whether that's in nature, whether that's doing meditation, reading, you know, having a bath, whatever resonates with you. But it's just important to just let your brain be, isn't it? So much of the time we're just, you know, bamboozled with all this stuff, aren't we? You know, all the time externally, and we just don't even give our brain time to think, do we? And especially if you are a mum as well, and you get, you know, there's stuff comes from the children, you know, there maybe they're at school, or, you know, we'll be the run up to Christmas, won't we, soon? And God, that's a busy time for, if you're a mum. It's like trying to trying to keep yourself afloat.
Yeah, and all those presents you have to buy as well.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So um, yeah, yeah. I think whether you're online or in person, you know, people get exactly the same from me. You know, I show up in exactly the same energy and in service to them, whether we're online or in person.
Yeah, good. And roughly, sort of, how long do you tend to do session? I guess a lot of everyone's unique, are they? But do you have a sort of a package of, say, do you say, well, this number of sessions is generally the amount that takes to help you with this sort of thing, or is it, do you kind of have to work with where they're at and what their plan is?
Yeah, in an ideal world, so if anyone was to look up sort of research to do with building habits, the average time it takes to build a habit is about 66 days. Because when we're building habits, it's about creating that neuro pathways, those connections. Because if you think about something that you do every day, you do it because it's that time your brain knows that at this time of day, this is what I do. I associate this with, you know, it's that kind of that association. If we use like doing the teeth, for instance, that the brain knows that when you go to bed at night, you know, you go upstairs, you get yourself undressed, you go to do your teeth, or whatever your routine may be, maybe, you know. So it's about creating those neuro pathways, and it can be quite challenging if it's something that you're trying to incorporate into your life, and perhaps there's a little bit of resistance around it, or there's some blocks around that, so we'll need to work through that. But ideally, it takes around about just shy of 3 months to really set things to build good habits. So because of that, I try to work with people for 3 months. I try to do a 12-week program. And generally what I will do is the first month we'll meet weekly, because it's quite intense the first month. There's quite a lot that I'll be coaching them on. I like to give them some journaling questions, or perhaps to listen to a podcast or different things throughout the week. And then after the 4 sessions, the next 8 will then be bi-weekly, if they're happy with that. Some people might still want to move to weekly. And then I also do a 4-week coaching program as well. And then I do a 90-minute sort of it's like a taster session, really. So people get a feel about what coaching is about. Maybe there's something they would like just to have a chat about and see what the options are. And so I do that as well. And then I've just launched a membership actually, which is it starts on the 1st of November, but I've just launched it, which is really exciting because that's more about community, more about accessing lots of people's expertise under one umbrella as such. So that is a monthly coaching membership for me, weekly expert sessions with other experts. So I might have somebody come into the group and do a session on, say, sleep hygiene, for instance, or they might come in and do a session on carbohydrates or something like that. And then it also includes a Monday coach. Yeah, if you want to be one of the experts in the group. And the idea of it is, at the moment I'm going to be using Facebook. It's going to be a separate group because I have a group anyway, but it's going to be a separate group just for the members. And those experts will always be in the group to post as and when they want to. But there will be almost like a rolling cycle of those experts will then do, like you say, meditation coach will come and do a meditation, or maybe talk about the benefits of meditation. So depending on what they want to bring to the session. And then I'm going to do Monday motivation, which is a journaling, a short meditation Monday morning, and a journaling question. And then a holistic exercise as well will be in there as well. And they'll be there to access, so I'll store them on Vimeo that people can access them afterwards as well. Because it might be that the Monday motivation doesn't really suit them; they might not want to do that, but they might want to perhaps do it Monday evening. Maybe it's not they're not around at 6:30 Monday morning to do that. So yes, I've just launched that, so that's quite exciting.
Very exciting.
That I'm going to get. Yeah. So it's called the Revive Tribe. I've called it
the Revive Tribe.
Yeah. So
okay, great.
Yes.
Yeah. So in the end of this on this chat, if you could put the link to how people can sign up to that would be great. Thank you.
Yeah, so I will do. Yeah.
What's do you have any kind of advice as a little tip for somebody who wants to get fit and change their lifestyle, become more healthy? Is there a quick step that they can start to get them on the journey of change? Just that little, what is there? Is there a little piece of advice you've got, or?
So I think nothing's quick with these things. So when you say, I would say a better word would be something that's effective would be better, because it takes determination to succeed and to understand what's going on. But I suppose for me, I would say as a quick not a quick fix, but some quick tips that you could start thinking about is, how can you incorporate movement into your week? So really simple things like not taking the lift, using the stairs, not getting internet shopping, going and buying it, not taking the car, walking. All those sorts of things are really quick, really easy ways to access movement. So that's a good, that I think that's probably a good thing. Why do you want to do it? So what's your intention there? Why is this important to you? So is it for a health benefit? Is it because you want to lose weight? Is it you don't feel confident? Just think about, why are we doing that, and what do we want to achieve from it? So then, then you can ascertain how you can get where you want to be, and maybe like a timeline of what this is going to look like, what this is going to feel like, what's going to become available to you when you achieve these goals. And then I would then say, once you've incorporated, you've got the movement, think about the food that you're eating. So really, have a real sort of MOT about what am I eating, and is there a pattern of do I eat worse after certain times in the month? It could be to do with your cycle, it could be to do with the moon. Do I eat more when I'm stressed, I'm at work? And how you could perhaps change your eating habits as well. So thinking about portion sizes, time you're eating, what you're eating, and all those sorts of things. Obviously, I can help to support people in making those changes. Really, you kind of think it's 80% diet, 20% exercise. But the important thing is think about what we're eating, and just little tips like eating a little bit more intuitively and more mindfully. It's so often that we just are shoving our dinner down our throat. We haven't even really tasted it. And it takes 20 for the stomach to communicate with to the brain that we're full, which is why actually if you eat too much and then you might have seconds because you think, oh yeah, I could have seconds, half an hour later you're thinking, oh my god, I'm stuffed. So eating slowly, really think about, am I actually hungry, or is it the external cues that are making me say, oh yeah, you need some food? Putting your knife and fork down between mouthfuls is a good one. Smaller plate is a good one as well, because if you have a big plate, it doesn't look like it's a very big portion. The eye plays tricks on us. So if you have a smaller plate, visually that looks like you've got a bigger portion. So all those sorts of things are good little tips as well. Making sure you drink plenty, because thirst can be confused with hunger. So
Lots of great tips.
So it's, yeah. But for me, on that, but you're on that road, you want to make that change, get some movement into your life, do a little bit of a food journal to think, what am I eating, when am I eating, is there where am I at with that, are there any patterns developing, and then why am I doing it, what is my purpose in doing this, so you can really get clarity on that.
Yeah, I think having a goal is really important as well, isn't it? To know where you're, why you want it, and what do you want to achieve is really vital, isn't it? Yeah. Well, I run a daily manifesting meditation, which helps people to come to an understanding of what it is they want. And it's interesting. Whenever I ask people about it and how their experience of it was, they often say, well, I didn't know what I wanted to try and achieve. I don't know what my goal is, or I'm struggling to find what my goal is. And I think that how can we ever possibly achieve anything if we don't know where we're headed? It's like getting in the car and saying, I want to go somewhere, but I don't know where. And you stuck on the driveway because you haven't been able to put anything into sat nav to show you the way to go, So it's that sort of thing, isn't it? So I think it's vital.
It is absolutely. It is, and you're right. I talk to loads of people who don't know what they want, and I will really strip it back to say, what do you want your day to look like? Let's think about what you want your day to look like, and then go from there. Because if you don't even know what you want your every day to look like, then how can we, where do we go from that then? And that's all about knowing yourself, isn't it? I think, and knowing where where you are and where you want to be, isn't it? But it's so easy as well, isn't it? I mean, you probably agree. I would think it's so easy to think to get out of your own heart and get in your head and think, well, I want this because you've seen other people do it, or you've seen that and think, oh yeah, that. But actually, that's not what you want at all. We've lost. Not just mums in general, the society has lost that, or lots of people have lost that connection with themselves, haven't they? They're very connected with their heart and their intuition. And I really think that society, we need to get back to that. We need to get back to almost at school of saying to children that you have your intuition, you have almost an internal sat nav, and your body knows exactly what is best for you if you choose to listen.
Yeah, it really does. And it's amazing what can come up just even for sitting for 10 minutes. It can come up with some profoundly beautiful you can feel so much better in that 10 minutes, and also you can come up with some really great wisdom. So yeah, I'm a massive
Yeah,
advocate for that myself. Um, Obviously, which is
yeah,
meditation. So
yeah.
is there anything else that you
Fine.
would like to share?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. And obviously, it might be that we will work together in the future anyway, because it sounds like you've got some valuable, a valuable expertise to come into my group. But yeah, I mean, I'll share obviously all my links, and then if anybody is, yeah, if there was anybody listening who would like to have a sort of a virtual coffee and chat to see whether I can help them, or they know of anybody, and then yeah, get in touch. It's soul revival, yeah, body confidence and mindset coaching, and yeah, I think, just, yeah, I think that's more or less it. And if there's anyone out there who does want any support, or just even a little chat, then I'm here for you. I can empathize with where you are. So yeah.
Excellent. Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for coming along today and chatting and sharing all about
No.
your work. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.